Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the From a Certain Point of View podcast. I'm Josh, one half of this podcast, and today I'm here to break down the latest trailer for Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, coming to Amazon Prime Video September 2nd, which is a Friday. And I got to say, just from the outset here, that I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan, but that's pretty limited to the films. I've read The Hobbit. I've read parts of The Lord of the Rings, but I never read the entirety of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So my podcast partner, Adam, who I'm going to talk to in a couple days about this trailer, I'm excited to see his perspective on it because he is very deep into the Tolkien lore and on all of that, and he's read a lot of Tolkien's material. So I think he, has a lot more knowledge than I do about this, but just based off of my knowledge of the movies and some reading, I am excited about this show. I was a little less excited when I saw the first teaser. I felt like there was a little too much CGI. It was one of the things. I wasn't sure how the vibe I was getting from it. So I really hope, and I will say this trailer, I think, is a much better trailer. Well done trailer, and we're going to watch it here in a second. But I I am skeptical, but I am hopeful that this will be really good. I really hope that they stick as much as they can to the source material and honor what Tolkien did. I hope it doesn't have some kind of agenda, political or otherwise, and it just stays true to what that story is, and they deliver just a good series about the Middle Earth during the Second Age. So let's get into this trailer right now.
There was a time when the world was so young. There had not yet been a sunrise.
Okay, so I want to pause it right here because this is one of the first images, maybe the first image that was released for this show several months ago. I think this is a beautiful shot. I don't know what this location is. It reminded me of Gondor. Maybe it's Numenor. I'm not sure. Maybe it's actually I think it is Valinor possibly, but let's take a look. And I'm going to pull something up here. So the two trees of Valinor, I looked into this a little bit. So there's a gold tree and a silver tree, and their significance here is that they existed at a time when the only other source of light was the stars, which had been created for the elves' benefit by Varda from the dews of the two trees. So basically, what they're saying in this trailer is when we're going to hear that there was a time when the only light came from these trees. So I think that's really interesting, and that's definitely something that gets into the lore of Tolkien that he created here. Okay, let's continue. And I just want to say I'm very impressed by these very large, sweeping shots. The cinematography is beautiful. The rumor has it that they spent close to $1 billion on this series, which is crazy, if you can believe that is the amount. But it really looks like Lord of the Rings in this trailer, and it has that epic scale and everything. I believe they filmed a lot of this in New Zealand, I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong about that. But I was impressed by that. So in this part of the trailer, we get into, each race basically and what their role is. Elves have forests to protect. This reminded me of like Lothlorien, and later we see an area that looks similar to Rivendell from the original trilogy. So I'm wondering if those are the same locations or if they're different elven worlds in Middle Earth. I'm not sure. We'll have to see, but looks really good.
Elves have forests to protect. Dwarfs their mines.
So we have the mines here. I'm wondering are these the mines of Moria? Is this Khazad-dûm? or could it be something else? But we get a little bit on the dwarves here.
Men bear fields of grain, but we Harfoots have it.
So I'm going to pause it right here on the Harfoots. So I guess I did a little bit of research here, and hobbits maybe didn't exist at this time, possibly, but the Harfoots did. And I'm guessing there's some link between the Harfoots and the hobbits. Maybe this is what Smeagol was, because I think Gandalf says that he was similar to a hobbit, and so maybe that's what the Harfoots are. I'm thinking they're kind of the hobbits of this story.
We're safe.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel.
So here we get a look at Galadriel, who of course played a key role in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. She narrated the epilogue or prologue. I always get confused about which is which, to the Fellowship of the Ring, and and everything that happened with the One Ring and that war that took place. So she's a part of this show, and she's looking a bit younger. I'm excited we have some characters that are going to connect us to the original trilogy, because a lot of these characters, especially elves, were around for a very long time because they're immortal. So it's cool to see Galadriel here.
Put up your sword.
And I do believe this is Elrond, actually. So we also get a look at a younger Elrond here.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where.
I love this shot too. And again, I'm not sure if this is Numenor. Let's take a look at really quickly some information about Numenor. Numenor was a kingdom of men established on an island brought up out of the sea by the Valar in the early Second Age. So this series takes place in the Second Age. And Numenor was the kingdom of the Dunedain. So the Dunedain, Aragorn was part of the Dunedain Rangers, and they had long life and everything as well. So this island is in the shape of a 5-pointed star. So that's interesting, and I'm wondering if this is Numenor, or I could be completely wrong. Again, I have no idea, but I'm just speculating, because it does look like it's an island.
It is over.
You have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen.
So this is a really interesting image. I wanted to stop it here for a second. I mean, my best guess about what this is maybe it's Sauron forming the Ring of Power in Mordor. Maybe this is the beginning of Mount Doom. It's in Lord of the Rings, Elrond says it was created. It has to be destroyed in the same place it was created, basically, in Mordor and Mount Doom. So, could this be the underwater volcano that comes up out of the water? I don't know. That's my best guess at what this is. Again, I could be completely wrong. Cool imagery, though.
What I have seen.
I just want to point this out too. This to me is very Lord of the Rings, having this huge, massive statue near this city here. And you can even see the detail of it. It looks great. I mean, it has like moss and stuff growing off of it, or small bushes, whatever it is. I just think it looks fantastic. And again, this reminds me of like Gondor. It reminds me of Minas Tirith, which is a city of men. So maybe this is, Numenor, that the city of men. I don't know. And this reminds me of Rivendell. So again, I'm not sure if it's Rivendell. I'm saying, I find myself saying I'm not sure a lot, and I don't know a lot because I don't. But this is just me speculating on what these places might be based on what I know from the movies.
over the face of the earth.
And it looks like here we have some goblins or orcs or some kind of evil that's marching here, maybe preparing for battle. And there's kind of this ominous warning that it will be the end not just of our people, but of all people.
It will be the end not just of our people, but all peoples. I am sorry, but the time is here. The past is with us all.
Just want to go back a step here.
But the time is here.
So looking at this here and trying to figure out who these characters are, I think this might be Durin the Third. And let's look at the cast listing here, actually, because King Durin the Third is played by this guy, Peter Mulan, or I don't know how to say his name, but he was in Westworld. And I'm trying to think if that does look like that's who that is. And according to Lord of the Rings.fandom, he was the first bearer of the mightiest of the 7 dwarf rings. And 7 were given to the dwarves. That's part of the epilogue, prologue situation in the Fellowship of the Ring. So that's pretty significant. And we also have his son here, Prince Durin the Fourth, as well in this trailer. So there could be some conversation about the ring, his ring, and its power. This show is called The Rings of Power. So I'm sure a large focus of this show is going to be about those rings and the forming of the rings and how that all happened. That's what I'm hoping to see.
The past is with us all. The past is dead. We either move forward. The past is with us all. The past is dead. We either move forward.
Okay, so I want to pause here again for a second because
Move forward.
I believe that might be Isildur. Okay, so if we look at, again, the cast listing, we have, where is Isildur? There he is. Maxim Baldry is playing Isildur, and that does look like that same guy. And of course, if you remember from the movies, from the first movie, Isildur used the sword to cut the ring off of Sauron's hand, and then his sword became the Shards of Narsil, which was later reforged, which Aragorn, received and used in Return of the King. So there's a neat connection there too.
Or we die with it. This could be the beginning of a new era.
And again, that image right there, is this Sauron forging the One Ring of Power? That would be something. I hope I'm right about that. And here at the end of this trailer, we have our Harfoots, I'm thinking, who are going on a journey. Again, I think they're kind of the hobbits of this story. And who knows, maybe they have a similar journey and part to play in this that our hobbits did in Lord of the Rings. And then we get The Rings of Power, September 2nd on Prime. Okay, so again, my thoughts on this trailer, I was pretty impressed by it. I think it's a great trailer. I think it got me way more excited than the first teaser did. And I don't know if this is still considered maybe a teaser trailer, but because we don't have a clear picture of what the story is quite yet. But we do get all these flashes of these different races, these different locations, these different characters, kind of setting the stage for what this show is going to be all about. And some hints maybe at the Rings of Power themselves. So again, I am much more excited at this point than I was before. I think this looks good. Again, I just hope that it will please the diehard fans as well as the casual fans. And I'll have to ask Adam what his thoughts are. But what are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you thought of this trailer. Are you still unsure about this series? Are you more excited about it, or did it not change anything for you? I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and be sure to stay tuned From a Certain Point of View for your movie news, reviews, and points of view, and everything I said was true from a certain point of view.